He picked the most popular Hong Kong-made action picture at that time and asked a very blunt question.
A Hong Kong gangster who ruled the streets with an iron fist, a martial arts legend who changed cinema forever, and a friendship that defied the dark underworld of organized crime. For decades, whispers and rumors swirled around Bruce Lee's mysterious death in 1973. Did the Triads kill him? Was there a hit ordered from the shadows?
Because I'd heard that Bruce Lee died from some sort of an allergic reaction to a drug or...
For more than half a century, one of the darkest mysteries in pop culture has refused to die. It has survived rumors, conspiracy theories, whispered accusations, and sensational headlines. The death of Bruce Lee has never truly been laid to rest. Even today, millions of fans around the world still ask the same question. Did Bruce Lee really die naturally, or was he silenced? Now, after 50 years of silence, a voice emerges from the shadows. Chan Wai-man was not just another observer. He was not a journalist, a fan, or a theorist searching for answers from a distance. He was a man who lived inside Hong Kong's underworld, a former high-ranking member of the infamous 14K Triad, the second in command of one of the most feared criminal organizations in Asia, a street fighter, a champion, and most importantly, a man who personally knew Bruce Lee. They trained together. They fought together. They moved to the same dangerous world where respect was currency and survival depended on strength, loyalty, and silence. For decades, Chan Wai-man refused to talk. He watched his rumors spread like wildfire. He listened as people blamed secret societies, ancient martial arts techniques, drug lords, jealous rivals, and criminal syndicates. He remained quiet while the Triads were accused of orchestrating one of the most shocking deaths in entertainment history. Until now, what Chan Wai-man finally reveals challenges everything people think they know about Bruce Lee's death. His words do not romanticize the legend. They do not protect myths. They dismantle them, piece by piece, without fear, without hesitation. This is not the story of a hero murdered by shadowy enemies. This is not a tale of secret assassins or forbidden techniques. This is the uncomfortable truth told by someone who stood at the intersection of martial arts mastery, criminal power, and brutal reality. To understand what really happened to Bruce Lee, we must go back to Hong Kong in the early 1970s. A city boiling with ambition, violence, corruption, and cinematic revolution. A place where movie studios and criminal syndicates were deeply intertwined. A time when Bruce Lee was not just a star, but a symbol powerful enough to threaten the balance of an entire underworld. And standing close to him was Chan Wai-man. This is the story of what really happened. This is the story behind the legend. This is the silence that finally breaks. The summer that changed everything, 1973. The summer of 1973 was supposed to mark the beginning of Bruce Lee's final transformation from global star to cinematic legend. At only 32 years old, he stood at the absolute peak of his power. His films dominated box offices across Asia. His name had become synonymous with martial arts excellence. Hollywood, which once dismissed him, now watched with fascination and envy. Bruce Lee was no longer chasing success. Success was chasing him. July 20th, 1973 began like any other working day for Bruce Lee. There was no sense of doom in the air. No warning signs that history was about to take a tragic turn. That morning, Bruce met with Raymond Chow, the head of Golden Harvest, and his business partner at Concord Production Incorporated. The two men were deep in discussion about Game of Death, the ambitious film Bruce was shaping into his most personal project yet. It was meant to represent his philosophy, his evolution, and his rejection of traditional martial arts limitations. Later that afternoon, Bruce and Raymond Chow drove to the apartment of Taiwanese actress Betty Ting-pei. She was scheduled to appear in Game of Death, and the meeting was meant to be informal. They discussed script ideas, character development, and upcoming scenes. It was business as usual in the world of filmmaking, where long hours and late meetings were normal. As evening approached, something changed. Around 7:30 p.m., Bruce complained of severe headache. To most people, a headache would be a minor inconvenience. For Bruce Lee, it should have raised alarm bells. Just 2 months earlier, in May of 1973, Bruce had collapsed unexpectedly while working on post-production for Enter the Dragon. He was rushed to the hospital after suffering seizures and loss of consciousness. Doctors diagnosed him with cerebral edema, a dangerous swelling of the brain that can be fatal if untreated. At the time, Bruce recovered quickly. Medical intervention reduced the swelling, and within days he was back on his feet. True to his nature, Bruce dismissed the incident as a temporary setback. He blamed exhaustion, stress, and overwork, and there was no shortage of stress in his life. Bruce Lee trained harder than almost anyone alive. His daily routines pushed his body to extremes that most professional athletes would struggle to endure. He ran miles regularly, lifted weights when many martial artists still rejected resistance training, practiced explosive strikes by the hundreds, and constantly refined his technique. Add to that the pressure of filmmaking, international fame, business negotiations, and Hong Kong's oppressive summer heat, and his body was under relentless strain. But on that July evening, Bruce believed he was dealing with something ordinary. Betty Ting Pei offered him Equigesic, a common painkiller that contained aspirin and meprobamate, a muscle relaxant. Bruce had taken the medication before without any known complications, trusting his past experience. He swallowed the pill and decided to lie down in the bedroom to rest. The plan was simple: a short nap, then dinner, then back to work. That moment would become one of the most haunting in entertainment history. Bruce Lee never woke up. As time passed and Bruce failed to respond, panic set in. Attempts were made to wake him, but he remained unresponsive. Emergency services were called, and Bruce was rushed to Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Despite the efforts of medical staff, it was already too late. Bruce Lee was pronounced dead later that night. He was 32 years old. The official cause of death shocked the world. The coroner concluded that Bruce Lee died from cerebral edema triggered by a hypersensitivity reaction to the medication he had taken. The ruling classified his death as death by misadventure, meaning a fatal accident rather than foul play. For Hong Kong and soon the entire world, the explanation felt deeply unsatisfying. How could a man in peak physical condition, a martial arts icon with superhuman speed and power, die from a headache pill? Bruce Lee was not an average man. He was disciplined, controlled, and hyper-aware of his body. The idea that something so simple could kill him defied public understanding. Almost immediately, disbelief turned into suspicion. Rumors began circulating before Bruce Lee's body even reached the morgue. In the streets of Hong Kong, whispers spread rapidly. The Triads killed him. That was the story people wanted to believe. It made sense to a city that knew the reach of organized crime. It fit the narrative of power, greed, and control that defined Hong Kong's entertainment industry. The mystery deepened when early reports attempted to obscure the location of Bruce's death. Initial statements claimed he had collapsed while walking with his wife. When the truth emerged that he had died in Betty Ting Pei's apartment, public trust eroded further. Why hide such a detail unless there was something to conceal? Raymond Chow's presence that evening raised additional questions. As Bruce's business partner, Chow stood to gain financially from Bruce's sudden death. After Bruce Lee passed away, his films generated unprecedented profits. The timing looked suspicious to those already inclined to believe in conspiracy. The atmosphere in Hong Kong became toxic with speculation. Stories multiplied and mutated. Some claimed Bruce had angered powerful crime bosses by refusing to submit to their control. Others believed he had witnessed something he shouldn't have. More fantastical theories invoked ancient martial arts techniques designed to cause delayed death. And looming over all of it was the Triad murder theory. The idea that Hong Kong's most powerful criminal organizations had eliminated Bruce Lee felt believable to many. The Triads controlled film studios, distributors, and talent agencies. They dictated who succeeded and who disappeared. If anyone had the power to silence Bruce Lee, it was them. Yet, in the center of this storm stood a man who knew both sides of the story. A man who understood the Triads from within and knew Bruce Lee as a friend and fellow warrior. His name was Chan Wai-man, and for decades he said nothing. The man who ruled the streets, Chan Wai-man's rise. To understand why Chan Wai-man's words carry such weight, you must first understand who he was long before Bruce Lee became a global icon. Chan Wai-man was not born into privilege, fame, or protection. His story begins in the harsh neighborhoods of Hong Kong's new territories. where survival was learned early and weakness was punished without mercy. While most children his age attended school, Chan's education came from the streets. By the time he was 10 years old, he had already learned lessons that shaped him for life. How to read danger in a man's eyes, how to avoid becoming a target, and how to defend himself when escape was impossible. His fists became his textbooks. Violence was not theoretical, it was daily reality. Northern Shaolin Kung Fu became Chan's foundation. He trained not for trophies or recognition, but because martial arts offered structure in a chaotic world. Discipline, repetition, and pain forged his identity. Fighting was no longer about ego. It was about survival. As he grew older, his skills developed rapidly, and his reputation followed. By the age of 17, Chan Wai-man made a decision that would define the rest of his life. He joined the 14K Triad. The 14K was not a street gang. It was one of the largest and most powerful criminal organizations in the world. Its roots stretched across Southeast Asia, and its operations generated millions through drug trafficking, gambling, extortion, and smuggling. Joining the 14K was not just a career move. It was a lifelong commitment that demanded loyalty, obedience, and a willingness to use violence without hesitation. Chan's natural fighting ability made him invaluable, but what truly separated him from others was his discipline. He never relied solely on street experience. While enforcing for the Triad, he continued to train relentlessly. He studied Muay Thai for its devastating clinch work and elbows. He trained in Western boxing to refine his timing and footwork. He immersed himself in Southern Chinese Kung Fu to complement his Shaolin foundation. His hands became his signature weapon. Stories spread through Hong Kong's underworld. Men whispered about Chan's punches. They said his fists moved faster than the eye could follow. That opponents felt the impact before they even saw the strike. Speed without control is useless, but Chan possessed both. His precision turned violence into something surgical. By the early 1970s, Chan Wai-man had become feared and respected in equal measure. He climbed the Triad hierarchy faster than anyone expected. Power recognized competence, and Chan delivered results. He handled enforcement, resolved territorial disputes, and maintained order in areas critical to Triad revenue. In 1972, Chan proved his legitimacy beyond the criminal world. He entered the Southeast Asian Kung Fu Fighting Championship and won. This victory mattered. It meant Chan was not just a street enforcer who fought dirty brawls. He was a legitimate martial artist capable of defeating trained fighters under rules and scrutiny. The title elevated his status and solidified his reputation as one of the most dangerous men in Hong Kong. That same year, fate intervened. Chan attended a press conference for a film titled The Unicorn Palm. It was a routine event, filled with celebrities, producers, journalists, and industry insiders. But among the crowd stood a man whose presence demanded attention without effort. Bruce Lee had just returned from America. His confidence was unmistakable. His posture, his gaze, the way people gravitated toward him. It was clear this was someone different. Bruce's star was rising faster than anyone could have imagined. His success was not manufactured. It was inevitable. Chan and Bruce were introduced through a mutual acquaintance. From the moment they spoke, something clicked. Both men shared striking similarities. They were small in stature, but explosive in combat. They rejected rigid martial art traditions in favor of effectiveness. They believed in evolution, adaptation, and testing techniques in real conditions. More importantly, both understood discipline. Their friendship formed quickly. They trained together, exchanged ideas, and respected each other as equals. There was no jealousy, no hierarchy, only mutual admiration. Chan admired Bruce's intelligence and relentless drive. Bruce respected Chan's raw speed, power, and authenticity as a fighter who had faced real violence. But their friendship did not exist in a vacuum. Hong Kong's underworld was always watching. The Triads controlled much of the film industry. They financed productions, controlled distribution channels, and influenced casting decisions. Bruce Lee's independence threatened that system. He demanded creative control. He refused to be bullied. He refused to operate like everyone else. Chan Wai-man found himself trapped between two worlds. On one side was the Triad empire that had given him power, identity, and protection. On the other was a man he genuinely respected, whose success challenged the criminal status quo. Chan could sense tension building. Conversations grew quieter. Eyes lingered longer. Questions were asked indirectly. Could Bruce Lee be controlled? Should Bruce Lee be controlled? Chan understood how quickly respect could turn into resentment. He knew how the Triads handled threats to their authority. And yet, Bruce Lee was different. Touching him carried consequences far beyond the usual calculus of violence. What Chan did not know was how little time remained. Within a year, Bruce Lee would be dead, and Chan Wai-man would be left carrying the weight of truths no one wanted to hear. Bruce Lee's kicks, Chan Wai-man's fists. In the early 1970s, a saying quietly circulated through Hong Kong's martial arts circles. It was never printed in newspapers. It never appeared in advertisements. Yet anyone who trained seriously, anyone who lived in the fighting world, knew it well. Bruce Lee's kicks, Chan Wai-man's fists. The phrase was not a joke. It was not exaggeration. It was recognition. In a city overflowing with fighters, both men stood apart as symbols of absolute excellence, each representing the peak of a different weapon. Bruce Lee's legs were legendary. Witnesses described his kicks as unnatural. His side kick could launch grown men backward with frightening force. His hook kicks arrived from angles opponents never expected. His foot seemed to teleport from the ground to its target. There was no wasted motion, no telegraphing, no hesitation. One moment Bruce stood relaxed. The next his kick had already landed. Chan Wai-man's fists were just as feared. Those who faced him claimed they never saw the punch coming. Chan's hands moved faster than human reaction time. His fist appeared out of nowhere, striking before the opponent's brain could process danger. The power behind the speed was just as devastating. His punches did not simply hurt, they ended fights. Despite their reputations, Bruce and Chan never engaged in an official fight. There was no public challenge, no organized match, no score to settle, but they did spar privately. And during those sessions, something rare happened. Two elite warriors tested each other without ego. Chan watched Bruce train with the eyes of a true martial artist, not a fan. What he saw stunned him. Bruce Lee's dedication surpassed anything Chan had witnessed. Even in the unforgiving world of Triad enforcement, Bruce treated his body like a laboratory. Every movement had purpose. Every exercise served a specific goal. Bruce ran miles multiple times per week, incorporating interval training years before it became mainstream. He lifted weights, despite criticism from traditional martial artists who believed muscle slowed fighters down. Bruce proved them wrong. His strength enhanced his speed. His power multiplied. His forearm conditioning was brutal. Repetitive strikes against heavy bags, wooden posts, and resistance tools hardened his limbs. His daily punching routines sometimes reached hundreds of repetitions, often while holding light weights to build explosive speed. His abdominal training was relentless, focusing on durability as much as aesthetics. Chan noticed something else. Obsession. Bruce was never satisfied. No matter how good he became, it wasn't enough. He constantly refined techniques, removed inefficiencies, and tested theories in live practice. He studied boxing, fencing, wrestling, and philosophy. He was building something entirely new. Jeet Kune Do was not a style. It was a mindset. Chan respected this deeply. In the underworld, adaptability meant survival. Bruce's philosophy mirrored that truth. Fixed rules got people hurt. Evolution kept people alive. The question everyone wanted answered, though, was inevitable. Who would win in a real fight? Chan Wai-man addressed this question honestly years later. He did not claim superiority. He did not pretend certainty. Instead, he acknowledged a truth nobody knew. Both men possessed elite skills. Both trained obsessively. Both understood violence not as sport, but as reality. A real fight between them would not have been a demonstration. It would have been unpredictable, chaotic, and dangerous. And it would never happen. While Bruce focused on film, philosophy, and martial evolution, darker forces gathered quietly around him. His rising fame attracted attention, not only from fans and producers, but from those who controlled Hong Kong's hidden power structures. Chan could feel the tension. conversations in Triad circles shifted. Bruce Lee's name surfaced more frequently, not as admiration, but as a variable, something difficult to control. Chan stood in the middle, aware of dangers on both sides, yet powerless to intervene. The irony was cruel. Bruce Lee was becoming untouchable in public. His fame shielded him. His popularity created a protective aura. But in private, his body was paying a heavy price. Chan noticed subtle warning signs during training. Muscle cramps, extreme fatigue, moments where Bruce pushed through discomfort that should have forced rest. Bruce dismissed them all. To him, pain was simply another obstacle to overcome. This mindset made Bruce extraordinary. It also made him vulnerable. Chan later admitted something that shocked many martial artists. Despite his own fearsome reputation, he believed Bruce's skills had surpassed his. Coming from a Southeast Asian fighting champion known for having the fastest fists in Hong Kong, this admission carried enormous weight. Bruce Lee was not just a movie star pretending to fight. He was the real thing. But real fighters are still human. And no amount of speed, power, or discipline can make someone invincible to internal failure. As Bruce's legend grew, so did the myth surrounding his strength. People believed he was beyond ordinary limits. That belief made his eventual death incomprehensible. When he collapsed, the world searched for extraordinary explanations because it could not accept an ordinary cause. Chan Wai-man understood this better than anyone. He had seen Bruce up close. He had felt his speed. He had trained beside him. He had witnessed greatness, but also strain. And when Bruce Lee died, Chan knew something most people refuse to accept. Sometimes, the greatest warriors are destroyed not by enemies, but by their own relentless pursuit of perfection. Bruce Lee's story doesn't end with mystery or tragedy. It lives on through the lessons he left behind: discipline, curiosity, and the courage to break limits. Legends may fade and myths may fall, but truth always finds its way back to the surface. If this story made you see Bruce Lee in a new light, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you believe Chan Wai-man's testimony? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more untold stories like this. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep moving forward.